My name is Kathy Baumgartner-Hetrick, and Steve Philippi and I undertook a very large project this year of the 250th anniversary of Palmyra. We have decided to do some oral histories of people who have lived in Palmyra. Most of them are over the age of 80 or 85, and we asked them to tell us their story about Palmyra so that we could put together a DVD that you're going to watch now that has the stories of Palmyra based on the people who have lived here. We hope you enjoy it. We've had a fun time doing it, and we think you'll learn a lot about Palmyra and the history of Palmyra through the stories of Palmyra.
When I was born, I'm Samuel A. Gingrich. I was born on April 15, 1928, and when I look out my kitchen window, I can still see the farmhouse where I was born and raised.
Okay, and that's right outside of Palmyra?
2 miles north of the square, right up Gravel Hill Road.
Okay.
And the first 8 years I went to Gravel Hill Country School, and I had Ellen Beam grow up for my teacher, and she was my dad's teacher there years before that. When I went to country school, we always walked, but when you came to Palmyra High School, there was no bus service that time. You had to find your own way to school, so I rode the bicycle. And
okay.
One cold winter morning, I think it was in December when I was 9th grade, I rode the bicycle and it was so cold I frostbitten my ears. Both my ears swelled up and got real red, and I spent 4 hours in with the nurse in the school office, and I think she wrote a note sent to my parents that I should have a way to school when it's so cold or bad weather. So my dad said, "You drive the Model A Ford truck," and I started driving it when I was 10 years old. So he gave me the truck. He said, "Next morning you can drive to school." So I did, and I started driving whenever the weather was bad, and we had lots of fun with that old Model A Ford. I think Allie Longenecker was the policeman. We had one policeman in Palmyra at that time, and we were collecting scrap right here around the square, and he walks up to us and he said how we're doing and all that. He never asked if I was old enough to drive or if I had license, so I never got into trouble.
Well, that's great.
All that driving, and he probably knew I was only 14 or 15.
You think that he just sort of turned the other way?
Yeah, they turned their head the other way. They didn't bother with making any trouble. So.
Well, now, when you went to school then, which year did you graduate?
Okay, I was in the class of 46.
Okay.
And the first 8 years I went to Gravel Hill Country School, right up the road here, 1 mile and a tenth from the square. And then I had almost a mile to walk to the country school. So from home to the high school, it was a little over 2 miles.
Well, what was it like going to school in a country school? We talked to one of the teachers, but we didn't talk to any students, so you were one of the students from that.
Okay, it was sort of interesting. You'd have time to sit and do your lessons or homework or whatever she gave you, but you could also listen to what was going on either side of you. Mm-hmm. Say if you were in 4th or 5th grade, you could hear what the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade was doing, and you could also hear what the 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th grade was doing over here to your right. Mm-hmm. The youngest kids sat in on the left and the oldest ones on the right.
So you moved over.
Yeah.
As you got older.
Yeah, and we could always, sometimes you could remember what went on the year before because you were sitting right next to that class.
You retired from Hershey in you retired from the post office in 1990.
Yeah, and I went out 4 years earlier, end of November, 4 years earlier to Hershey in '86.
Okay. And what have you done in your retirement?
Well, I still do some volunteer work. I take mail in for a couple ladies that can't walk too good anymore. I also do volunteer work at Hershey Park for the Palmyra Church of the Brethren.
What changes do you think have happened in Palmyra? What are the most significant changes you can see?
Oh, the biggest change is when I was at the post office for the Christmas relief, I think there was only one RD rod. Now I think there are 6. And there's all these new homes being built. That's one of the biggest changes, all the development around Palmyra.
Do you think that the people in Palmyra, I mean, definitely the individuals have changed, but do you think the spirit of Palmyra has changed at all with all this?
Not too
expansion?
much, no. It's still a town where you go down the street and you see lots of people you know, or you talk with them and they know somebody that you know. It's a friendly community.
Great. Well, thank you, Sam. We appreciate you sharing these stories with us. We really do.
Okay.